For a long time, I didn't think the cameras moved that way, but then anytime there was a little sign of problems, they could twist around like a pretzel, and I realized they could. But they don't like to show those crowds, but that is a massive amount. I don't know how many people are here, but you got a lot. I want to thank you. So this evening, we're also praying for all of the families on the Florida Panhandle affected by Hurricane Sally, and I will tell you, Ron and Marco and everybody, I'll tell you, Rick, everybody's been calling and calling. Matt Gaetz has been driving us a little crazy. Matt, you could take it a little easy. But that's what somebody that's good is supposed to do, right? You're supposed to call. But we take care of the Panhandle, and we're doing it at a level that's never been done before. And I've done it, I think I can say, right from the beginning, right? I tell the story about Ron DeSantis. He came to see me. He just became governor. We had a hurricane. Sir, thank you very much for the money you sent to the Panhandle in Florida. I appreciate it. Good, Ron, good. I hope it's enough. Good. Spend it well. I get a call like 3 days later. Sir, could I see you? Now, I'm in Washington. I say, you don't have to come up. Tell me, no, it's very important. Sir, comes into the Oval Office. Sir, could we have an extra $500 million? I said, Ron, will it ever end, Ron? And one thing I found out, it never ends for the Panhandle and for Ron, but we take care of it, right, Ron? We take care of it. Great people. You have great people. They're warriors, I'll tell you. They're warriors. They're fighters. We need more people like that, I will tell you. Last month, I approved a major disaster declaration for the state of Florida, and I'll be with you through every step of the rebuilding, and you'll be hit with others. The one thing we know about Florida, you're very good at this stuff. You get hit by hurricanes, and you rebuild fast, and it's incredible. I've watched, and you don't want much help either. You're proud people. You're incredible people. You put it back together. But we're there for you all the way, and we're there monetarily, and we're there with FEMA. And I think, Ron, FEMA's been incredible, haven't they? Right? Yeah, they've been incredible. Thank you to FEMA. We have a lot of FEMA people here, right over there. We've spent the last 4 years reversing the damage Biden has inflicted over the last 47 years with that ridiculous, dumb thought, NAFTA, TPP, and China's entry into the World Trade Organization, a disaster for our country. You know, China is considered a developing nation. I stopped that. China is considered a developing. In other words, China, they're so wonderful, they're developing. Isn't that nice? Now, by being a developing nation, they get much more benefits than a nation that's not a developing. So I said, well, we're a developing nation, too, if they're a developing nation. And we just won, you know this, we just won $7.5 billion from the World Trade Organization. Just one. And from the World Health Organization, I took us out. They said, why'd you do that? I said, number one, they were wrong on everything, although they corrected themselves today and they said I was right, or the lockdowns. But I said, number two, why are we paying $500 million a year? And China, which has 1.4 billion people, is paying $39 million a year. Explain that. They couldn't explain it. It was very hard to explain. So I took us out for that and other reasons, okay? So we'll see what happens with that. But these are the deals. I could go over hundreds of different things with you, and just common sense. I mean, common sense, what we do. Think of it, World Health Organization. We have 325 million people. We spend $500 million. China spends $39 million, and China dominates them. I said, does it work that way anymore? Does it work that way anymore? They'll take us back in so fast at much less money. For decades, our politicians spent trillions and trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders. But now we are finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs and our factory and our troops back home to the USA. But those dismal days of betrayal, and that's what we were betrayed by our own politicians, whether it was on purpose or that they were just plain stupid. We'll come back with unprecedented force if Washington Democrats are allowed to take control again. We can't let it happen. You have got to get out and vote. Sleepy Joe Biden, and it wasn't him, it's the people that control him. He's controlled totally. Has put forward the most radical platform in America's border in our country's history. But we're up to almost 400 miles. It'll be finished very soon. And it's top of the line. It's exactly what Border Patrol wanted. But by implementing nationwide catch and release, imposing deadly sanctuary cities, nationwide, they want sanctuary cities. That's what they want. I don't even think, I'll tell you, I know a lot of people in California, they don't want sanctuary cities. It's like the politicians want it. I don't think the people want it. But they want to suspend all removals of illegals out of our country, whether they're murderers, rapists, thugs, bank robbers. They don't care. They want it suspended. You almost say, where the hell are they coming from? Where does the thought process come? It's demented. It would mean the total nullification of all U.S. borders, overwhelming every city and town in America, including this wonderful place that we all love very much. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history, and we're finishing that wall. It's going to be finished and so beautiful. Wait till you see that. Wait till you see that. A few more months. We're doing 10 miles a day. And by the way, Mexico is paying. They hate to say it. Mexico is paying for it. And Mexico's been great. You know, Mexico has 27,000 of their soldiers on our border. And I said, you have to do that. Otherwise, we're going to have to charge you tariffs because we're not going to stand for it when people are pouring into and we have the worst laws because Congress over the years has made it so weak. If you're a soldier and you talk rudely to somebody, they end up giving you the electric chair. Okay? It's so horrible. Mexico has been great. 27,000 soldiers we have. See, 27. Now, the electric chair comment, they'll put that. He's exaggerating. He shouldn't do that. They are sick people. But it is true. We have 27,000 Mexican soldiers guarding our border. And you know what? They don't play games. They don't let them through. And if they do let them through, we get very angry with Mexico. So Mexico's been great. The president of Mexico has been great. We're putting a border tax on for cars and trucks that go across. It'll much more than pay for our wall. Starting soon. Remember when the old days we used to say, we'll build the wall, everybody thought there was no way. You know, it's one of the largest projects in the history of our country because you're talking about a lot of miles. 540 miles, and then we may even add some more into other areas where you probably, you have natural barriers like mountains and rivers and a lot of other pretty tough areas, but we may even add some more. We're doing so great with it. 10 miles a day, and I want to thank the Army Corps of Engineers. You've been incredible. Some of them are here. They're very proud people. One thing with the Army Corps, they may build it a little expensive, but you can't rip that sucker down. It never comes down. That'll never come down. We ended the catch and release ridiculous program where you catch somebody, you take their name, and then you release them, and you say, come back in 3 years to a court case. And nobody ever comes back, except for the really dumb ones. They come back on occasion. But nobody ever comes back. They're in our country, and they could be murderers, and they could be all sorts of problems, and we're not having that. We ended it. We stopped asylum fraud, and we've deported 20,000 gang members, including MS-13. Brought them back to their country. We brought them back to their country. We've now deported over 500,000 criminal illegal aliens. Think of that. Think of that. And outside of poorly run Democrat states and cities, you don't have crime in this country. Our country is doing fantastically. And I call up governors in Portland, and I call up from the state, and I call up the governor as an example, Oregon. I say, we'd love to send some people to help you out with Oregon. and to help you out with Portland. We'll solve the problem in a half an hour like we did in Minnesota with Minneapolis. We'll solve the problem quickly. Remember, Minneapolis was burning down day after day, and I'd call, let us come in, let us come in. Anyway, they finally came in. How long did it take? About a half an hour. Remember the beautiful scene? They lined up. They weren't socially distanced, but that's okay. They lined up, then another line, then they just walked forward, and that was the end of that. And I think we're going to win the state of Minnesota because of it, I think. Hasn't been won since 1972, but it's looking like we're going to win Minnesota because of it, because nobody, what they did. But I give the governor credit, at least, even though it was too long, he let us. In Oregon, we have to send in the troops. We will solve that problem in 30 minutes. We sent in the U.S. Marshals recently when the man, this horrible human being, shot somebody and killed him in the middle of the street. 2 days went by, 3 days went by. I said, why hasn't he been arrested? We sent in the U.S. Marshals. In 15 minutes, it was all over. 15 minutes. It'd be so easy to do. Can you imagine these people? For years and years, it's been anarchy in Portland. For years and years. But not for the Republicans. This is why you cannot have the Democrats and that whole philosophy, that whole craziness. You cannot have them involved in running your country. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, including funding to save Tyndall Air Force Base. Who knows Tyndall? Who is? Okay, well, not that big a group. That's not like a big group. I can tell you, if you were in the Panhandle, you'd be saying, thank you very much. It was wiped out by the hurricane, and Ron called, and a number of people called, and Marco called, Rick Scott called. They all called. They wanted to save Tyndall, and we did it, and now it's brand new, gorgeous, and really moving along well, right? We did a good job there? I think so. We launched the first new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in nearly 75 years called Space Force. Very important. For an administration, if you think of it, so not for 75 years, we've created a new force, right? The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. So think of it, Coast Guard. And now, we just created a new force. First time in 75 years. If I did nothing but that, that's a big deal. And that's peanuts. That's peanuts. Because we built the greatest economy in history. We cut taxes more than any other president by far in history. We cut regulations, which I think is maybe just as important as the taxes. That's why our businesses are roaring back. We've done things that nobody else has done. Nobody else has. And these people back here, they don't even challenge me on it, which is shocking. Usually you think they'd challenge you, even if they're wrong. I also brought back NASA, the greatest space center again in the world. And we passed VA choice and VA accountability for our great vets. Right? And we just got a 91% approval rating, Ron. 91% approval rating by the vets on the way we're running it. Never happened before. That's never happened before, Rick. Never happened before. We killed the leader of ISIS who was trying to reform ISIS because we blew it into oblivion. We killed al-Baghdadi. They were looking for him for years and years and years. Guess who got him? We took out the world's #1 terrorist and the mass murder of American troops and many, many people all over the world, Qasem Soleimani. He's dead. Gone. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal, which was a catastrophe. President Obama, give us $150 billion and we'll give you nothing. Give us $1.8 billion in green, in cash. He gave him $1.8 billion in cash. That's when I realized how powerful the presidency is, when you can do that. What a horrible deal. But we broke the deal, and I'll tell you, probably the first call I'll get after we win the election will be from Iran, dying to make a deal because they're down 28% GDP. Nobody has ever heard of a thing like that. That'll be the first call I get. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. I kept my promise, recognized the true capital of Israel, and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And every president promised to do it. Every president said they were going to do that for many, many decades. They all were going to do that. Nobody did it because once they got in office, there was a lot of pressure on you not to do it. I could tell you I was called by every foreign leader, please don't do it, please don't do it. I told the story. I said, listen, tell them I'll call them back in a couple of days. Then I did it. I called them back. Hey, what's up? I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. 52 years they've been working on that. They've been working on that for 52 years. They couldn't get anything. Every year people would fly in, stay, wine, dine, have a good time, and leave. Nothing would happen. 52 years I got it done in one day. And instead of these endless wars, we're forging peace in the Middle East and peace without blood all over the sand. And you see what's happening. In fact, a point that they didn't report, I've been, I guess, 3 or 4 maybe now, Nobel Peace Prizes. Can you believe it? 4, 3. I told the story. I told my wife, oh, we're going to have a great time. We're going to watch television. I just got nominated for the Nobel Prize. And then I turned on the fake news, story after story. They talk about your weather in the Panhandle, Ron. They talk about this. They talk story after story, no mention. Remember when Obama got it right at the beginning and he didn't even know why he got it? It was the biggest story you've ever seen. The last administration made a pathetic one-sided deal with the Castro dictatorship that betrayed the Cuban people and enriched the communist regime. They're not enriched any longer. My opponent stands with socialists and communists. He wants to give everything away to Cuba. He wants to give it away to Nicaragua and Venezuela. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. I stand with the people of Cuba and Nicaragua and Venezuela in their righteous struggle for freedom. The last administration also negotiated the terrible Obama-Biden-Santos deal with Colombian drug cartels. They surrendered the narco-terrorists. They surrendered, totally gave up to them. And that caused illicit drugs all over this country. Joe Biden even received the endorsement of Colombian socialist Gustavo Petro, a former member of the M19 guerrilla organization, and he took it because you know why? He didn't know who the hell it was. He said, I'll take it. I'll take whoever. He said, no, he's a bad guy, Joe. He's actually a bad guy. Under my administration, we worked with Colombian officials to seize or disrupt 227 metric tons of poisonous narcotics since April. And we're doing fantastically in terms of bringing it down. 19% reduction. My heart will always be with the Colombian people and the people from Cuba and the people from Venezuela and Nicaragua and all of the people that are so unfairly treated. And you'll see a lot of great things happen. I did more in 47 months than Joe Biden did in 47 years. It's true. And now he's pushing the most far-left agenda ever put forward by a presidential nominee or candidate. The Biden plan would destroy Social Security and destroy protections for pre-existing conditions. You're going to have nothing left. This crazy Green New Deal. The Green New Deal. I mean, what's that all about? Biden's running mate sponsored the Green New Deal and the socialist health care takeover. You're going to have socialist health care. You don't feel well. Okay, go to the hospital. Stand there for about 4 weeks. They'll shut down American energy, shut down fracking, and outlaw the private health insurance plans of over 180 million Americans who love those plans. Biden vowed to terminate our travel bans on jihadist regions and surge refugee admissions. He agreed to this with crazy Bernie Sanders. He's going to surge admissions into our country by agreed number 700%. No, thank you. Opening the floodgates to radical Islamic terrorism. And I don't like to speak too loud, but we're not doing too badly, are we? You know that? He'll ban school choice, he'll ban charter schools, and he'll ban Florida Opportunity Scholarships, which is a big deal, Ron. A big deal. He wants to put them out of business, Ron. In a second term, I'll provide school choice to every parent in America. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. And I just have to say in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. It's ending. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities, which you're already doing in Florida. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms, your Second Amendment. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of these ridiculous, horrible, and very, very stupid foreign wars against countries that you've never even heard of. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency. It's already signed, and it takes place on January 1st, and further reduce the cost of prescription drugs by 50, 60, 70, and even 80%.
Wow, did you see the puss on that woman's face? I don't know who that is, but she looked miserable. Some reporter. Fake news.
Existing conditions, always. Republicans will always protect. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars, and it's going to be very soon. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Florida. So get out there and vote. Send in your absentee ballot if you've requested one. Be very careful. A lot of shenanigans going on. You see what's happening every day. You're reading it. In-person early voting begins next week. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, and get out and vote. You have no choice. You have to do it. True, you got to do it. We're going to win Florida big. We're going to win a lot of states big. We're leading in Arizona. We're leading in Nevada. We think we're leading in Pennsylvania. We're leading in North Carolina. We're leading all over the place. We got to have this be a big win. From Tampa to Tallahassee, from Pensacola to Miami, and from Jacksonville to right here in Sanford. We stand on the shoulders of Florida patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, dug out the Panama Canal, raised up the skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and from here, in this beautiful state, landed our brave American astronauts on the face of the moon. We made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you helped build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We're returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. And when Ron DeSantis comes to my office in Washington, the magnificent Oval Office, and he says to me, sir, the people of Florida, they've won too much. They're getting tired of winning. I'm going to look at him, I'm going to say, Mr. Governor, go back and tell them, don't worry about it. You're going to keep on winning, winning, winning. That's what they want to do. We're going to keep on winning, winning, winning. Because we're one movement. One people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Florida, we have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. And we will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, my people. There it is. Wow, does he sound good? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Just a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we found out the president had COVID. We prayed. They hoped for his death, the disgusting people out there. But, yep, he beat it, and he sounds amazing, I got to tell you. And I'm not a Trump cheerleader. I'll call him out when he's doing some things wrong or whatever, but I'm really surprised how good he sounds. So that is awesome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are the best. Also, Rich and I were talking earlier. You know how we say go over to Vantage Point USA on YouTube and ring that subscription bell, you know, subscribe and then ring the notification bell. It's also important to make sure if you're watching it on an app on your phone to allow it to give you a notification that we're live, because a lot of people will go on YouTube and send me messages like, oh, I didn't even know you were live and I have my notifications on, but I didn't see it until I signed on onto YouTube. So you actually have to go into your app settings and allow it to give notifications if you want. Just expect a notification probably around 11 p.m. till about 3 in the morning, because that's about what time I go on when there's breaking news. So, yeah, that could be a little troubling. But other than that, you guys are awesome, man. God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much for making this page safe again, making this page successful again, and making this page great again. Thank you. God bless.